So I watched some of you African leaders parading yourselves at the 2025 UN General Assembly with a laundry list of requests and complaints, pleading for permanent seat, whining for louder voice. And I thought, how pathetic. Yes, John Mahama gave a blistering speech, which was okay, but speeches would not do it. The second largest, second most populated, and the most resource-rich continent on the surface of the earth, reduced to begging smaller, weaker nations and continents for just a seat in the microphone. Shame on you. Here's the truth you always joke on. Africa will never, ever earn respect by begging for it. Respect is not donated, it's not given, it's earned, sometimes even seized. Relevance is not granted, it's forged. A voice is not handed out. Africa can build one so thunderous the world can drown it. But what have you built? Corruption has drowned our politics. Oil beneath our feet, but we buy fuel from strangers. Gold in our soil, yet we starve. Youth overflowing with genius while the Ancient of Days and the Rock of Ages cling to power for decades. Hospitals abandoned while you sneak into Europe for treatment. Our roads, they dissolve in the rain. Schools recite Shakespeare, but they erase the history of Sankara and Kwame Nkrumah. Armies can never defend the continent. And the list goes on. But here you are, begging smaller nations that you should be feeding at this time. African leaders, listen well. The day you purge corruption, unite economies, reform education, restore cultures, build industries that feed your people, and forge militaries that can shield this continent, that day you won't need to beg for seats. You will own the table and the world will rise when you walk in. But until then, every complaint you cry at the UN is nothing but crocodile tears. Because deep down, you know the enemy destroying Africa is not Europe, not America, not Asia. It's you. So stop the shame and start building what you spent decades destroying.
Guys, the most powerful woman in Africa right now, the most powerful, straightforward, superpower woman in Africa right now, her name is Netumbo Nandi of Namibia. She is the current president of Namibia. This woman is super loaded, super focused, and she means every single word. Did you guys listen to her during her United Nations speech? She went on to speak about education, free education for high institution, for universities, for kindergarten, for primary school, and all of that. Narrated all the vision that he has for her country. And not only that, the one that caught my attention is that she's also involved. For those of you in Namibia, I want you to confirm this. She's also involved in what we call the African Alliance, Free Borders. These people like Botswana, like Zimbabwe, they are coming together to have a borderless nation. That means there is going to be a free movement of people from Botswana to Namibia, from Namibia to Botswana, from Zimbabwe. And all these countries are going to be linked together. They're going to trade. Listen, you guys may not know the depth of this decision. You may not understand or comprehend the depth of this decision that these guys are making in Africa right now. During the partitioning of Africa, Africans are not able to move freely from one nation to another nation, from one region to another region. Trades were blocked. Trade was stopped. Because every single person has different things that is going on with them. So you can live in Botswana, even if you share the same border with Namibia or with South Africa, you don't know what is going on there. So it becoming so impossible for you to trade even as neighbors, just like Ghana and Nigeria. See, this open border policy creates a dimension of trust. that was broken, that was hindered, that was eliminated or minimized because of the imperialism in Africa. And so this woman right now is making a tough decision to remove all imperialist activities and actions and everything that has been fixed in place, dismantling them, getting rid of them, so that people can walk across and travel freely, live freely, do business freely, transact freely. This is what we need in Africa, guys. To me, what this woman Natembo, President Natembo, is doing right now, make her one of the most, if not the most powerful woman in politics in Africa right now. Straightforward to the point. Straightforward to the point. Is the head of state, head of government of Namibia. This is something commendable. It is something commendable. Now we're going to take this a little further by allowing ourselves to be able to learn culturally, so that we no longer have that cultural barrier that block us and hinder us from having conversation. This is good. If you are in America, for example, as long as you're an American, you can travel to any part of America without a passport. With your driver's license, you can travel to any corner. If you are in Europe, the same thing. You can move from one point to another point without anybody stopping you. But when it comes to Africa, if you are in Nigeria, for example, to cross over to Ghana is problem. To cross over to Chad is problem. From Chad to Nigeria is problem. When you look at all the neighboring countries, you're wondering, why can't we move? Because of all these things, Africa is limited. And in order for us to be able to perform to the max, we'll need to collaborate, not compete. We need to collaborate. We need to work together. Regardless of language barrier, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of religion, regardless of political affiliate, we have to put Africa first. We have to become patriotic Africans. Patriotic Africans. No matter where you came from, no matter where you were born, no matter who gave birth to you, no matter your belief system, first off, you are first an African. When somebody asks me, who are you? Where are you from? I usually respond this way: I am an African. So you can figure out other part by yourself, because the label, I'm from here, I'm from this, I'm from that, leave all that details. The rest is for you to identify yourself as someone that is a patriotic citizen of Africa. See Africa as one. See Africa as one. The way Americans will see America, even if you're from Texas, or you're from New York, or you're from California, or you're from any other state, you are not American. The same way we will have to. Let me tell you guys something. You know, somebody living in Texas and someone living in Chicago, that is Illinois, there is distance. The terrain is different. Let me tell you something. When you live in Texas, you can drive in Texas for like 11 hours. You are still in Texas. Texas is like a country. California, for example, has all the weather change and all kinds of things that you can think about on the planet Earth, yet is part of America. I've been to all these places, and I see how they creatively link all the states together to call them America. That is what we need. We need to link all the nations with one vision to build Africa, to develop Africa. And every sons and daughters in Africa, we must open our mind to be receptive. We must accommodate one another. We must be able to tolerate. Are we going to be perfect? Nothing is perfect. But when we look at ourselves from the perspective of building together, we need to find a common ground. A common ground. Instead of trying to criticize, to look for what is wrong, we need to look for what is right, what we can work together, what we can do together. We need to remove the mindset, the colonial mindset. This is exactly what President Natembo is doing. This is what the same thing President Boko is doing. It's the same thing the Zim president is doing. It's the same thing Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. All of that is what we need at the moment if we're going to build a strong Africa. And I strongly believe if we continue to push in this direction with awareness, with a lot of education, and all the leaders, I'm appealing to you guys. We talk about Africa human capacity development. As a leader, you have your own role to play. As a politician, you have your own role to play. But also give room for those who will come in to train people. Those who will come in to educate people, to create that awareness. You can't do everything. We have to come together as one to build every section, every department, one step at a time. And if we do this, I bet you the rest of the world will not have choice but to see Africa as the destination of the world. If you love Africa, I want you to share this. If you love Namibia, I want you to share this. If you love what this woman is doing, what President Boko is doing, and Burkina Faso is doing, I want you to share this. I want you to share your opinion under the comment section. Africa must be built. Africa must be developed. One vision. We don't need one president. We just need one vision. And that, if we can share it, we can explain it, we can create awareness, is enough to build Africa. This is one step ahead. I love Africa and I love Africans. God bless Africa.
But when you hear of Traore and what he's doing in his country, it brings parallels to like Gaddafi and other African leaders who is trying to empower their people. So 19 attempts on his life and he's still around. That made me start researching. And the same thing I did for Sierra Leone, I started drafting letters like, man, I want to meet this guy. I want to go to Burkina Faso, man, and sit down and have a conversation. How can we in the diaspora support you and what you're doing? You need to have a voice in America as well. Our people need to get behind and support trade and commerce and empowerment. He ran out all of the Asians and the Europeans, right, and started negotiating trade agreements, took control of his gold mines and minting his own gold, developing electric vehicles, getting into agriculture to feed his people. And he said, look, it's not about me. It's not about being a corrupt leader or taking all the money for myself. It's about empowering our people, feeding our people, educating our people, the people, you know, within his country. And then by doing that and being successful at it, it starts spreading to other West African nations. These are people who are colonized. And now it's just starting to spread slowly but surely because of the power that he's shown and how it's inspiring other nations to take back their natural resources. You know, so it's about power, it's about land, it's about control. And Traore is taking his borders back, taking his resources back and leveraging them for his people. That's what's so powerful. That's what I'm applauding in him. And he's doing it with strength, right? With force, with his military and with his word. And people are respecting that.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to bring attention to the tragedy Christians in Nigeria are experiencing. The deadly terrorist organization Boko Haram is trying to eliminate the Christian faith from Nigeria. This is the same terrorist group that kidnapped dozens of young schoolgirls and burned innocent civilians alive in cages. According to reports, over 3.5 million people have been forced to flee their homes. 3 churches are destroyed every single day. 7,000 Christians were massacred this year alone, and the faithful must now meet in secret or in burnt-out sanctuaries. Sadly, the world is turning a blind eye to the plight of Christians in Nigeria. There are no embedded journalists covering the violence. There are not daily updates. Politicians around the world are not asked questions about how they will respond. We cannot ignore this violence and tragic loss of life. We must speak out and shine a light on what's happening so that people can donate to relief efforts and provide support to those displaced by violence. To my brothers and sisters in Christ, we know you know the power of prayer. We will not forget you. Stay strong. Keep the faith.
We
need to give a big shout out to President John Dramani Mahama. This is a president who came to power just in January of this year, 2025. And just within the space of 9 months, that man has achieved what most governments in Ghana have not been able to achieve in the past 10, 15, 20 years. On Wednesday, October 1st, the government launched 2 new trains that is in line with the reactivation of the country's railway network, right? And so far, they have been able to reactivate and reinstate the Tema-Pakadan Railway. And the 2 carriers were able to travel from Tema to Afinia without hitches. And this, as you can understand, is going to go a long way to boost and facilitate transportation. You know that railway transportation is very fast. It facilitates a lot and it speeds up business. It speeds up, movements from one end of the city to another, one end of the region to another. And so we must give a big shout out to President John Dramani Mahama and his government, because trust me, what he has been doing just within 9 months, it's just incredible. Now, I know that some partisan politics people would come here and start to say, oh, he has not done this, he has not done that, or they would always want to find fault. They don't care to see the good thing that the government in place is doing. All they want to do is find faults to criticize. Now, ask them a question. Their own party that was in power for over 8 years, what did they achieve? They got money to build cathedral. Until today, no cathedral was built. We don't know where the money went to. They have been from one corruption practice to another. But they want to come and find problems in John Dramani Mahama's government, whereas he is doing way, way more than what they did. So guys, for those who really support good things to happen in Africa, I think this is a great one. And kudos to your government, kudos to what you have been doing so far. And we really hope that you keep doing a lot for the people of Ghana, because I think they deserve it. So let me know what you think in the comment section. So Ghana has been reactivating their road network, and the project is to extend from one region to another to connect the country, connecting major cities to facilitate movement, to facilitate trade, to facilitate people offering their services and other things. See you in my next one.
The slogan Africa for Africans is kind of misinterpreted. Don't say Africa for Africans and you think you own every country in Africa. You are from, let's say, Ethiopia, and then you say you own South Africa, you own Uganda, you own any country in Africa because you feel like Africa for Africans. That's not how it works. Africa for Africans, when you are in your own segmented area, don't say Africa for Africans and then if you feel like the whole of Africa is yours. No, your only part where you belong to is where your Africa starts and ends. That place where you belong to, where you're born, where your ancestors are originated. I want to read for you one Bible verse. Proverbs 12:11. It says, those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense. My friend, what are you doing in South Africa? You're chasing fantasies. The Bible has said those who chase fantasies have no sense. And this is truth, Bible truth. Those who work their land will have plenty of food. Your land is where you're born. Your land is where your ancestors are born. Your land is where you belong. Your belonging land, where you came from. Be Ethiopia, Somalia, or where, Djibouti. I don't even know, but where you're coming from is your homeland, and that's your land which the Bible is talking about. If you farm your land, you'll have plenty of food. If you don't and chase fantasies, the Bible said you have no sense. Foreigners, let's think about this.
Africa is on fire. Africa is in a mess. Africa is in terrible situation, and leaders are talking about Gaza. They are talking about Palestine. They are talking about Israel. They're talking about Ukraine. They're talking about Russia. African leaders have not realized the power that they have and how to use that power. As I'm talking to you right now, Madagascar is on fire. Madagascar is on fire. The riots, every single thing that is going on there right now is unbelievable. Government has been dissolved, and that cannot solve the problem. President Andry Rajoelina, you are a young man in power. I don't understand why politicians in Africa continue to overlook the things that are in Africa, solving African problems. Instead of that, it's good to talk about other nations and what is going on in other nations, but looking good outside and looking bad inside is a terrible policy. It does not, the whole world can see the hypocrisy in our leadership. The high level of hypocrisy. Madagascar is one of the richest country in the world in terms of minerals and resources. Yet the people are poor. The people are broke. Children cannot go to school. They cannot feed. No light, no water. Every single thing is a mess. The people have cried over and over again. Government is not paying attention. Until this current riot, that houses, shops, and all kinds of things have been burned down. That's when the president is like, we have to dissolve the government. Dissolving the government alone does not solve the problems. And that is where I speak about Africa human capacity development. Even the youth on the street, we need to develop the people. Because even after removing this government or coming against this current government, the next person will still do the same mess. The next person will still come and continue the mess. How can you have a country that the people are not taken care of, and you go on the world stage to speak? You go on the world stage to address other nations' problems when you have internal problem that you have not solved. You are not even attempting to solve the problem. You don't talk about it. It's not something eminent to you. It's not something that is your priority. But you can speak about other country, about their own situation, so you can look good or look current in the current affairs of the nations. Meanwhile, your home is not together. Africa is home, guys. Africa is home, guys. But the earlier we realize that we need to fix Africa, the better for every single person. I've said over and over again, no matter how high you rise financially, no matter how big you are politically, no matter the position and whatever you think you have as an African, whether you are living in Africa or you're living outside of Africa, if Africa is not fixed, you are not fixed. You are a mess. If Africa is not fixed, you have no voice, you have no relevance. Nobody is going to give you listening ears. I am paying for Madagascar. Why will children have to go through this? Men and women, people on a life in the hospital. Do you know how many people perish daily in Madagascar because of poverty? Do you know how many people are sick in Madagascar because of poverty? Do you know how many people are destroyed, life wasted, no electricity, no water, no food, nothing, and we have leaders? Why are we not thinking Africa? Why are we not thinking? The same thing happened in Kenya. After that riot, Kenya did not follow through. Because any leader in Africa that is not ready to serve Africans, that is not ready to serve Africa, that is not ready to serve the people, will be removed. There is no two way about it. I have been saying it over and over again. It's not the threat. I'm just telling you the reality. This new generation, we're not going to sit back and wait for things to keep going the way they have been going. We cannot do that. And now, when you go to the international scene, you see a lot of borders being closed against Africa. Borders being shut down against Africa. African being deported. And then we sit back and we think it's normal. We think it's normal. We think this is regular. You think this is how life's supposed to be? No. Africa Human Capacity Development Initiative, it is a program. It is a system that is intentionally created to help Africans. So if you are in government currently, or you hold any political position or any organization in Africa at all, and you want people to be trained and you don't know where to go to, this is the opportunity I'm giving you guys here. I'm giving you guys opportunity. We are coming to Africa. I am coming to Africa. And that is why every sons and daughters of Africa that truly want to see Africa transform, support what we're doing here. Subscribe to the channel. Share this video. Write me a comment. I want to know what is going on in your country. I want to know what is going on in your region, in your district, in your state. We want to come and train the people. Listen, guys, governance will become impossible if the people are not informed, if the people are not trained. We need to create awareness. Sometimes people are angered. People are bitter. People are destroying things because there's no hope for them. We need to bring this awareness, consciousness, and hope to the people. You can't lead a people that are hungry. You can't lead a people that don't think about that their future is not in view. You can't lead them. They are going to destroy so many things. And if we don't build Africa, we will continue to experience all this mess. For me, I don't strongly believe that any African president or ministers or ambassador or whatever should travel out of Africa until Africa is fixed. You shouldn't go on a vacation. You shouldn't go on anything once you sign up to become a leader in Africa, until we can see clearly that there is a development going on in the country and you are obviously involved, not sitting out in office, not campaigning, not doing anything. Your campaign should be the work you're doing. How you're feeding the people, how you are building the roads, how you are building the school, how you are bringing electricity, how you are bringing power, how you are bringing water, how you are bringing food. That is what we want to see. Don't talk to us about anything. We already know what the problem is in Africa. I'm paying all the time whenever I see African race all over the world going through this thing over and over again. Young Africa, the future is in our hand. The future is in your hand. Don't just shout and keep quiet. It is time to build. It is time to equip. It is time to get ready. It is time to prepare. It is time to tell this old generation who are not doing nothing, and even the young generation who are in power doing nothing, it is time to tell them, hey, you shift so that we can bring somebody in. Leadership is not about personal gain. It's not about it's not about your pockets. It's not about how many cars you can drive, how many houses you can build, how many vacations you can go, how many hospitals you can visit. As in, that is not leadership. Leadership is, what do you see for the people? How can you take the people to what you see? Enough is enough. President Rajoelina Andre, this should serve as a strong warning to you. It is time for you to roll your sleeve, remove your coat, remove your suit, get on the street, get yourself involved. If you don't know what to do, there are a lot of leaders that have started springing up in Africa. Look at what Burkina Faso is doing. Look at what Mali is doing. Look at what other countries that are behaving well. Botswana. And if you don't know what to do, reach out. We're ready to help. We're ready to help any African country that is willing to be helped. Share this video and follow for more. I want you to look at the picture on the screen very well. Look at the face of that lady. Look at her face. Isn't this woman looking pretty on the outside? But if you hear what she thinks about Africa, what she thinks should happen to Africa, you'll be amazed. This woman, her name is Vaughn Usala. Her name is Vaughn Usala. is the European Union president. Not African. Can never be African Union president. She can never be that. She is the current European Union president. And this woman is strengthened by the development that is going on in the Sahel region of Africa. As a matter of fact, in the continent of Africa. Europe is always looking for something to steal from Africa. Something to take from Africa. Go and do your research. The name Europe, this Europe that they are calling today, is a stolen name from a stolen princess of Africa, who they took her away. The lady was so pretty that they couldn't have it, as in they were so amazed. Africa is the root of the world. So they stole the princess from Africa. They took her to Europe. I'm going to tell you guys that story before this week runs out or this month. We're going to do a lot of things here. And when they were looking for the name of continent, of what to do with their continent, they have nothing to do. They just have to come up with Europe. Today, the European continent, they are also restricting Africa from coming to Europe. Yet, we are the foundation of the name they are calling today. Do you guys now see the reason why what we call the meeting that they just held right now, nations? You know the reason they are keeping all the secret, that they don't want Africa to come on board to have a seat in the security saying and all of that, is because there are a lot of things that they don't want Africa to discover. Africa is always a threat, not because of their weapon, not because of any dangerous thing that Africans are doing to the rest of the world, but because of their intelligence, because of their mindset. European, Americans, the Western world is always threatened when they get to discover what Africans can do, what they are capable of doing. All these weapons they built over the years, do you know why they started building weapons? Because they discovered, they thought that Africans will quickly come up. They are surprised that we didn't start on time. What we're doing right now, they are surprised that we didn't start it on time. So after stealing so much from Africa, after taking so much from Africa, after decimating so many things in Africa, after so many stealing from Africa, they thought that Africa was going to start fighting them immediately. After the abolition of the slave trade, they thought that Africa was going to invade them. So they were preparing all the weapons, they were hiding underground, because they thought that we're coming for the gold, we're coming for the... look at France. France is having a gold reserve, but they don't have any site that has gold anywhere. So this woman is the reason I'm here tonight. Vaughan, the European Union president, Mrs. Vaughan, says that Burkina Faso is the poorest country, but yet the most rapid country, developing country right now in Africa. And she said that if they allow this thing to continue the way it's going without negotiating with Africa, that Europe is going to lose a lot. They're going to lose money. They're not going to make money. That right now, it's only Russia that is trying to benefit from what is happening in Africa. That they have to come in time so that everybody can benefit, Europe can benefit, Africa can benefit. See mindset. It's thinking that we are, I think she thinks that we are in maybe 19 or 14, maybe 1320 or 1313. It doesn't know that this is 2025. She's trying to, when you listen to the speech, you'll be thinking that it's trying to say something that is nice about Africa. But no, this is not nice, woman. Madam, this is not nice at all. It's not nice at all that Europe is threatened because of Africa development. At what point did Africa ever think that European development is threatening Africa or Western development is affecting Africa? Why is it that when we start building things right now, you guys are threatened? You guys are afraid. What is that? And that is why we have so many things. I think I've shared it over and over again. We need to do massive, rapid development of the people, Africans. Rapid, massive development of Africans. And that is why we have Africa Human Capacity Development. And I'm calling on sons and daughters of Africa, home and abroad, to join me in this initiative, in this movement, to go into Africa to develop the people. We cannot focus on building structures, road, electricity, and power. Those things are good. But not until the people that are living in the continent are developed, we are not going anywhere. We have to develop. Africa is going to have the largest population in years to come, in about 10 years from now. So if we don't go into rapid human capacity development, then we're going to have a lot of crisis. And the rest of the world, they are not ready to help Africa. Visas are becoming so hard to get. Visas are being revoked. And by the way, we don't blame them. They can see how things are turning out, and they are tightening up borders. Borders are being tightened to protect what is already inside. So what do we need to do? We need to build Africans. We need to develop mind. We need to develop our concept. We need to develop our own philosophy. We need to go to primary school, to secondary school, to kindergarten, to the village meeting, to the to local market, to churches, to mosques, to every corner. I have a program. For the past 10 years, I have been writing a lot of programs. I have tested this program. It's working for those who are using it currently, home and abroad. And this program, I want every single one of us to come on board. Africa Human Capacity Development is an initiative to develop Africans, to build Africans. I was listening to a news about a few hours ago, how a young boy was, in the name of searching for wealth, terminated a lot of lives. He's in his 20s. But it's just looking, if I tell you how much this guy was looking for, you'll be so shocked. This is a vibrant guy, a boy that could have done so much, now is going to prison. Because a lot of Africans, young folks, are hopeless. There is hopelessness. So that is why this program is designed to help Africans. And if you are in Africa, I want you to be patient because we are coming. We want to teach you guys what we have learned, what we have received, what we have seen, what we have discovered. We are bringing things back home. I need you guys to join hand with me in Africa Human Capacity Development. And for Madame Vaughan, the European Union President, we are not stopping development because of your statement. Africa is moving forward regardless of what you guys think about Africa. If you love Africa, share this, follow for more. Welcome to October. We're about to get started. We are about to just get started. Let's go to the next level.